There's a summit with his family, so we're told, at Camp David. At least that's according to the US network NBC.
And of course, that all follows his disastrous debate performance on Thursday, which has left Democrats worried about his ability to beat President Donald Trump.
Let's talk to Erol Morkoc, who's spokesperson for Republicans Overseas UK. Erol, good to see you this morning. I mean, heck, I don't know what you're hoping for as a Republican. Would you like to see Biden keep going, or would you like to, at least to put up someone to put up a decent fight against your candidate?
Well, I guess from a totally political standpoint, I don't mind having Joe Biden as our adversary. Perhaps from a national security standpoint, it would be better if the Democrats put somebody forth who was at least, let's go with, sentient contender. Right now, he's going to be meeting with the smartest guy he knows, Hunter Biden, and I guess his wife and some other people in his family. I'm not sure what the qualification is, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to carry on with this race. The Biden family, they sort of need this. This is their entire grift. There isn't some, Biden family business outside of this. And once this brand is gone, it's gone. And that's how they all ply their trade. So we're I think, gonna see Joe Biden as emerging from this a little bit more confident, a little bit bruised from having, really lost that debate, but still very much in the race, very much 50-50 when you look at the real numbers. So he's going to, go to the mattresses, but I think he's going to come out and decide to continue running.
Yes, I mean, I suppose he doesn't have to put himself forward for another debate, does he? He could just keep going. I mean, he clearly is still very good at making speeches, maybe scripted speeches, of rallying the troops, and perhaps they will decide after this summit that if he's good at that, that's what they should concentrate on. But I imagine the Republican candidate, Trump, will call for a debate again.
Yes, and Joe Biden has already, at least verbally, committed to doing a second debate. His ability to back away from this probably was mitigated by Donald Trump being such a measured competitor in the last debate. There was no grand moment where Trump, was too aggressive or something where the Biden campaign could point at it and say, hey, that's why we're not coming back. Because Trump was so professional and because the debate just went poorly on technical standards, the Biden campaign can't shy away from a second one. But I don't know how much more guardrails they can put on a debate than they did on that one. Red light, green light, no audience. That's sort of where Joe Biden falters in this case, because he's unable to read without a teleprompter. If they had allowed the audience there and a teleprompter, he might do better. But I think he ultimately will just keep going. There's no reason to back down for him. They would lose everything that they've built, as well as the fact that all of his political handlers would also lose their jobs. So the entire apparatus needs him to win, and I think they're going to keep pushing forward, even though he will lose every fair and honest debate he has with President Trump.
Well, how's Trump going to handle this? I mean, he can say what he likes as far as his base is concerned, because they won't mind. But it's about winning people over. I mean, that's what wins an election, people swapping sides. And if he actually comes out and is too nasty about someone who is clearly old and, let's be honest, deteriorating a little bit, well, that might not actually play so well.
Yeah, I agree. I believe Donald Trump was quite restrained in that debate. There were moments where the old Trump would have definitely thrown a haymaker, and he just quietly sat there and maybe made a confused face. So you're absolutely correct to point out that if Donald Trump is too vicious and beating up basically a feeble old man, as the American people might see it, then it will go a long way in hurting his chances for winning those moderate voters. And I think he's done a good job about it. He hasn't been overtly cruel to Joe Biden's face. I think when you go on Truth Social or on Twitter, perhaps his memes are a little bit more cajoling than his rhetoric. But ultimately, Donald Trump has to present himself as a presidential candidate. He has to present himself in a presidential aura. And he's definitely doing a much better job of this now than he did in 2020, which did not go so well for him, as we know.
Yeah, his most devastating line was when he said, I don't understand what President Biden said in that last sentence, and I don't think he did either. I mean, that was measured and almost cool.
We really don't want people to think of feeding food like ours as spoiling their dogs.
It resounded pretty well with anybody listening, because nobody really understood what Joe Biden was saying. Even if you love the guy, at that moment, it was very confusing. It wasn't as good as his "you'll be in jail" moment with Hillary Clinton. No, I think that's the world record debate moment. But this one was pretty good in the sort of curated debate form, which, by the way, is helping Donald Trump. Donald Trump was supposed to be sort of neutralized by this red light, green light, no audience. But without that, he actually, by default, appeared more professional in how he presented himself. He appeared more presidential. He wasn't allowed to sort of play off of his negative tendencies, which play to the base. But as you said, who cares about the base? We're trying to win moderates. We're trying to win voters over. And that's where Donald Trump is sort of shining right now, and Joe Biden is faltering.
OK. Errol, good to see you. Thanks very much
Thank you,
indeed. I cannot understand if they come out of this meeting and his family